Is that all it was?
That's what it was.
The dog treats.
You fixed it, Bob.
Who do we got on here that's on the iPhone so I can get you signed in?
It's Tamia.
Mia.
Inside.
Watch this. I can change that.
You can put her name on there.
Is it the fan?
Because I got all control.
I bet it's frozen. I bet it's frozen. Probably. You know why? Because that door wasn't shut. That's why we could hear it. Yeah. Pull the door open just a hair.
Is it IAM?
That's what it was.
It's
like
T
that.
apostrophe lowercase m
Oh.
So it's probably frozen.
IA. I got you, Tamia.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go. Door was open.
Bang.
Damn it, Olive, why are you always leaving the door open? You think I'm gonna give you a banana now?
Yes. Yes.
Think I'm gonna give you a banana for leaving the door open all night?
You know what? All she hears is banana.
I know.
Which oddly enough, she does not like.
Really?
What kind of dog doesn't like bananas?
She always spits it out. Like she'll like, I think it's
Highly
the,
improbable.
yeah, it's the texture.
Highly improbable.
You heard banana.
You like banana, Greg?
Love banana.
Yes, you all.
Cleaning up the floor where Peter sits. Always, that's where Peter always sits, and she always finds something under there.
It's either there or over Judy Connors.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be anything on the floor. If they didn't
Sometimes she'll find something like.
Just the hallway.
Oh, well.
Well, he means like just like regular, like our staff cleaning the floor.
Oh, I mean, I was told not to like sweep up the floor and do all that because they were.
Oh, no, this is separate from that. Next time they'll be doing this.
Well, in that case. In that case,
Training.
go nuts.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
Sign in here and take one of these.
Let it be dark. I'm waking up. Gotta wake up, Greg. I don't have the same routine as you in the morning. Part of the same routine.
Casey's checking in.
Who's this?
Casey.
Casey. We'll put your name
Oh
down.
Lord, it's us.
Are you here, Casey?
No, not yet.
That's all right. Most people on Zoom are zooming from their bed.
Who's zooming from their bed? That's rude.
Me.
Yeah.
Me too.
First time I ever saw a Zoom meeting, you were like,
Who said me? Me too.
Why there's no picture.
no.
Maddie did.
So I was like,
Maddie and Elizabeth.
check it out, y'all. It was 11 p.m. staff meeting.
First time
Moving into college
still
tomorrow.
quarantining.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, we got another iPhone.
That was when I was sick.
Who's on the iPhone?
Casey.
Horrible.
That's when
Casey?
I built Mega Bed. I built
That's
Mega Bed
Casey?
in my
Yes, Casey.
good time.
Casey with a K?
No, with a C. ASIE.
I know.
I have to be chewing on something.
We spell it with a K though, because you're at Kemper House.
Okay.
Casey with a K.
Everybody else is coming. That's
I know. I paged I paged it over the system. Hopefully.
Since your mask up.
Oh, your mask?
What?
Your mask? Oh my God.
Good morning.
What about it? Oh, I'm about to eat. I'm hungry.
What are you eating?
Peaches.
Ooh.
Delicious.
Hi, Cabrini. How are you?
Hey, girl.
That's a good way to start
Good
your
morning.
there.
I did not expect you to be out.
Beach? You want any coffee? You want any coffee?
Like my daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, I
She
bet.
does.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
take that as a compliment. Maria is beautiful.
What's that?
I said I'll take that as a compliment.
Okay.
Maria is beautiful.
Yeah, well, she was there yesterday.
Yeah. Cabrini, do you want any coffee?
You want
What's that?
coffee?
You want some coffee? Yeah? I'll get you some coffee. You want some coffee?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay. All right.
Fine.
You want to sit down with me? You want to sign in for the training?
Campaign training.
my wife was like, get up. And I was like, no, she was already up.
You want to put your name?
Good morning,
You can put your
Good
name
morning,
right there.
Don. How are you?
Yep.
Fine. I got a big smile on my face.
I can't tell.
Oh, okay.
There's Olive cleaning.
That's perfect.
That's just my.
That's good enough.
Like I'm going with mom.
Perfect. Thank you, my dear. Perfect.
Olive, you got it all?
know.
She's just eating.
Sorry
Yep.
they didn't step on you.
I think that one thing was a piece of paper.
Probably. She doesn't care. It's all fiber.
Keeps her regular.
She's already pooped once this morning. Outside.
So proud of her. What an amazing dog she pooped this morning.
I know, right?
So well trained.
Yeah. Roadside Cooper. Well, we are missing all of night shift, so hopefully they can sleep. Unless they're
Colleen's on. Colleen with
Good
the-
morning.
We'll have to change Colleen's name too. Everybody's gonna be spelled with a K this morning.
Hi, Tara.
okay. Good morning. Hi, guys. I see them all over there.
Him and Papa Joe are chilling at the family. I don't even know. Hi, Jesse. I ain't go past that. I see these.
Sleeping in too.
He's having a hard time adjusting.
Who?
Oh, Papa Joe.
Papa Joe loves everybody.
He's a sweetheart.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, I don't think he.
I knew I smelled
He
you.
said- I told him he was here today, and he said.
Anything to say out loud?
Yeah, we were just saying we could smell Ira.
I walked in the building and I was like, Ira's here.
Oh,
Showing off your
No.
ankles?
return of the
Look at
back.
the ankles.
Are you showing off your
Good to
sexy
see
It's
ankles?
his ankles. That's where all the cologne is.
Shaving today. Little shaving this morning. Little shaving.
Love you, buddy.
Hello, you too. How you doing?
Good,
Iris,
good.
What's
man,
going on?
nice and
We're doing some
fresh.
elopement prevention training.
Elopement.
Oh, that's yours.
Yes, sir.
Did you get something off the nurse's station last night?
Yeah, actually, I left it on the table.
I didn't get one. I'm
Somewhere.
sorry.
Yeah, I received it. I left it on the table.
Hi, Ira.
How you doing?
Good.
Good to see you too, man. It's good to be.
Elopement
They
prevention.
had me back there in isolation. Now I'm free.
If they want to come in, because we got to get started, if they can come in real quick.
I told the person on the attention, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Make you look I'm sorry.
Enjoy it. It looks delicious.
It's just.
It must be juicy.
It is. It's like extremely. Right.
That's when they're yummy.
I'm sorry, what?
You want a napkin or something?
I have a couple.
Okay. Just make
I'm mad at you, Jesse.
Huh?
I'm mad at you. I'm serious.
Hello.
That sounded real serious.
Go ahead and sign in over here and grab one of these.
I am, because you took the key wherever you took the key. We couldn't get access to the kitchen.
You
Yeah, I
hop the
spelled
counter.
everybody's name with a K
There's no
for
key.
Kemper House.
And over there was a lock.
I missed you, Ira. We never
What'd you
get to
do?
see you.
I see her dressing.
All
It's working.
Yeah.
Have you been noticing?
He's my
Ira,
biggest
you want me
hype
to,
man. Every time I come in here, he's like, "Ooh,
You
girl."
want me to fix your pants for you?
She stopped shopping at Kroger's.
Hey, guess where I got
Oh,
this?
got it. You want that today?
Guess where I got this?
I'm on that today too, my
I'm
friend.
not Kroger's.
No, I'm kidding. I didn't.
Huh?
Now I gotta look at that.
Don't hate. Kroger's the
Looks like
bomb.
a prisoner who just got out of
Yeah,
state.
Kroger's is good for food, but not clothing.
Yeah.
21st. Yes, ma'am. Position?
Yeah, it's not open yet. Yeah, September 1st. Yep.
Or when we have our next move-ins, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May not be the 1st, but whenever they do come in.
Oh,
Good morning.
good morning.
I want to make sure you got that card and say thank you.
Yes, yes, sir. I just looked in my bag and I just seen it in my bag. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. You have a good one. I feel so
Random generator.
It was random generated.
Tell it.
God picked it.
That's right. See what I'm saying? Bless.
All right. Did you get one of these, Lydia? Yes. Perfect. Okay. All right. Well, we have some people. I want to get started. It's already 7:12, so we will get moving today. Hold on.
Good morning. How are you?
Is it just you two in here this morning? Oh, Lydia's in here too? Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on this. Oh gosh.
I'm just gonna press record.
Oh, okay. You made me nervous.
Oh, it's on record.
Oh, okay. All right, so we want to talk about elopement prevention today. I know Dan talked a little bit about it during the staff meeting. We've had a few incidents where residents have gotten beyond the set of secured doors, so we want to talk a little bit more in depth about it and some warning signs, things to look for, things like that. So we are going to, hello ladies, come on in. You guys can get signed in right here and then take one of these with you, okay? So the first thing we want to talk about is knowing what are the red flags. So who needs to be monitored more closely? First of all, I want to point out that half of all elopements are going to happen within the first few days of admission. So when they move in for the first time into this building, those first few days are critical because that is the highest chance of elopement during that time. Other red flags to be aware of are that people who are expressing frustration over their stay or constantly expressing that they want to go home, things like that are people who are going to be more likely to be exit seeking. If they are outwardly expressing that they want to go home or frustrated over their stay with us. Questions to ask. I always like to bring this up because our life stories are a huge, huge benefit in this aspect. So what factors make somebody more likely to elope? People who are smokers, so they want to get outside because they want to go smoke. Heavy alcohol users, people who are caregivers, so people who have been caring for children or caring for pets for a long time may be more likely to be exit seeking because they may be looking to get back home to care for those pets or children, things like that. So our life stories are super important in getting to know those residents individually and who was a heavy smoker when they were, you know, before they came to live with us, who had pets that they cared for their entire life. I think a good example of that would be Cheryl. Does anybody know what Cheryl's occupation was? She was a principal. So she is, and I think that may contribute partly to her exit seeking because she was a caregiver, in a sense, to all those children at her school. So knowing those details can help us to know who we need to watch more closely in the event that they could elope, okay? So technology and wandering, we talked a little bit about Blue Willow if you were able to attend our meeting on Wednesday this week about what we're going to be introducing as our new wander management system to help to aid our staff in keeping track of residents who tend to wander and just all of our residents in general. So I don't know, Greg, do you want to talk a little bit about Blue Willow again and just kind of give them a little
Yeah,
taste?
so the Blue Willow platform, which should be coming on first part to mid-September, you actually wear a device. It'll be our care team as well as our residents, and it actually popcorns your day. So the beauty part of it is if a family member comes in and they want to see if their loved one was active, it would actually show one of our caregivers going into their room, getting them ready in the morning, and then getting to breakfast, and then going to an activity in the community room, and then doing this and doing that. And so it really helps to non-invasively track the day for our residents. It also measures temperature 24/7, and then we can actually set parameters with it that if somebody's temperature spikes or does something like that, it will ping our staff, which every caregiver will carry around an iPhone that will have the app on it. So it'll not only have the app for point-click care, it'll also have the Blue Willow app. So it's sort of the program that we have is called CarePoint. It's that on steroids. It is the top technology for nurse call in the world right now. And so I'm really excited about it. It'll have alerts on it. We can also set parameters. It's called geofencing. So if we know that one of our residents is sort of exit seeking, we can put a red line in front of that door, and as soon as that resident is at that door, and we can time it, we can put it for a second or we can put it for 5 seconds. It will ping our staff to say, Cheryl's at, exit whatever, she's been there for 5 minutes, let's be concerned about that. And then it will just tell, and then we can actually, it also has fall detection. It doesn't have fall prevention, but it does have fall detection. So if somebody's in their room, we know if they fell, it will ping us on that. And then also, like say at night, we can geofence off half a room. And so as soon as they get up and sort of break that fence, like going to the restroom or something like that, it will ping our staff. So it should be a really robust platform and help us with somebody that is exit seeking.
Absolutely. Technology is a huge benefit to help us to manage, wandering and fall prevention and all of that stuff. So absolutely utilize this system to the fullest once we get it set and installed. But I also don't want it to be a crutch for you guys. I don't want you to solely rely on this technology, as wonderful as it is. I want you to really be thinking about what are those red flags, who are those people that we need to actually physically keep a closer eye on, and keeping that in mind with their life stories and who they are and what they've done their entire lives as well. And I know we've hounded on this since we've opened, but our secured doors, I want to talk a little bit more about those. We are still having issues with those not fully latching. So please, 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 every single time that you go out or in those doors, make sure that they aren't just shutting, but they are latching behind you. Bob and I walk around and, we still find those doors not latched completely. And all it takes is for one resident to push on that door and they're out of the neighborhood. So always turn around, just take 2 seconds to make sure that that door latches behind you, okay? And then as a note for everybody, another time that we need to make sure that we're watching those secure doors is when the fire alarms go off. So you guys know when the fire alarms go off in these buildings, all of those secured doors release. So we have to, as a team, know that when that happens, we have to immediately assign somebody on staff to be by those doors until the system resets, okay? So that we make sure that nobody gets out, because that's a time for elopement is during those fire drills, because those doors open up, okay? All right, so elopement protocol, having proper protocol in place so that if somebody should happen to, go beyond our set of secured doors, will help us to better be able to manage this and making sure that everybody is clear on what our policy is in the event of an elopement. So does everybody feel comfortable that if there happened to be an elopement today, that you would know what to do in that moment? I'm seeing a lot of blank stares, which worries me. You feel comfortable that you guys could handle that and you know what to do in that situation? Okay, so what is the first thing? Let's say Bob has gone missing. He's one of our residents, and Dawn, you are the person that realizes he is not where he is supposed to be. What do you do? You jumped a couple steps, but you went to the right place. You went to the nurse's station, and that is the first thing that you want to do. So you want to tell the nurse that is on duty that you think that Bob is not where he is supposed to be. Okay, so what is the next step after that? What do you do when you go, once you've told the nurse, what is the nurse going to instruct you to do? Before we hand out search cards, before we do any of that, what are you going to do? Before we search anything.
Check the sign out log.
Check the sign out logs. So it's a little bit different right now under, COVID-19. Families aren't taking their loved ones out necessarily, maybe for doctor's appointments, but we're usually aware of it. So these family entrances aren't open right now. Under normal circumstances, we have 3 places in the building where a resident can be checked out by a family member. And that is the front door, our south family entrance, and then the north family entrance. You want to go and make sure that a family member hasn't just signed their loved one out of the building and we just weren't made aware of it. So before we go sounding all the bells and whistles in the building, check those sign out books and make sure that they just haven't been signed out, okay? All right, so let's say Bob has not been signed out by a loved one. What do we do now? So before that, how do we get everybody together? Yep. So what would you say if Bob resides in Colonial Hills and he is the one that's missing? What do you page, or what does the nurse page over the system?
Cold blue.
All the nurses in here just went, oh God, no.
Ira's not even back a week already.
I know. So you're going to page the resident's name along with the wellness station in the neighborhood of which they reside. So it would be Bob Doherty to the Colonial Hills Wellness Station, Bob Doherty to the Colonial Hills Wellness Station, Bob Doherty to the Colonial Hills Wellness Station. You will page that 3 times over the loud system. So that puts everybody in the building on alert to say, okay, where is Bob? Have I seen him? Do I know where he is located? If anybody in the building knows where he is located, what do you obviously do? You can bring him to that wellness station, and then everything gets called off, okay? All right, let's say nobody knows where Bob is. What do we do?
We all go to the station and assign assignments, and then we all start looking outside and inside.
So every single staff member should meet in the wellness station? Every single staff member should meet in that wellness station.
No.
You do not want to. What about the people over in Olentangy? Does every single staff member from Olentangy come over here?
They meet up at the wellness station.
What I'm getting at is you don't want to leave all of our residents in Olentangy alone. So you got to talk to each other and assign somebody, or at least 1 or 2 people, to stay with those residents over there. And then the rest will come over here to the search and help with the search, okay? We got to make sure that the residents aren't left alone, okay? Same thing goes for this neighborhood. Somebody has to stay with them and keep them occupied, the residents that are still here. Same thing goes for Riverly, okay? All right, so we get everybody and we meet up here at the search location in the wellness station. Who's handing out cards? Who's delegating responsibility?
Who's in charge at that time?
The nurse. Yep, so the nurse is gonna hand out search cards to everybody, okay? How many search locations are you guys going to each have? Total, 2. Yep, so you are going to go search 1 location. If you do not find the resident, you bring that card back to that nurse. The nurse will give you a different location to go search. And then if you don't find that resident, you bring that card back as well, okay? All right. So then what do we do after that? What happens if after 2 searches, it's probably been about 30 minutes or so, we haven't found the resident? What do we do then? If we say 2, there's been 2 searches done. Who calls the police?
The nurse. whoever's in charge at that time.
Well, so the nurse can call if she cannot get a hold of the executive director, but they should be calling the executive director, and the executive director should be the one that is calling the authorities. But if the nurse can't get a hold of him in that moment, it is okay for the nurse at that point to call 911, okay? And then obviously the nurse is gonna call, you know, well, our DON happens to be our ED as well, but the DON and then also the family members of that resident who is missing. Okay. All right. So does everybody feel a little bit more comfortable about our elopement protocols? So, yeah, it's a good refresher. It doesn't hurt to go over. We do have our, you know, our elopement drills every single month. So just be on the lookout. Those will help to be really good refreshers. We do them on different shifts every single time so that everybody gets a chance to experience what one of those is like. Any questions about our elopement policy, procedure, protocol, any of that? Did I miss anything, Bob?
Nailed it. Pretty good.
Okay. Awesome. All right. And then the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is supervised versus unsupervised wandering. You know, a lot of times the reason that these residents are wandering is because they have an unmet need. Not all the time. I know that we have some people who, like Miss Edie, we don't always know why she's wandering. Sometimes she just wanders, and that's okay. We just have to know who is okay to be unsupervised when they're wandering and who is not okay to be unsupervised while they're wandering. So Miss Edie is a great example. She's okay to walk on her own. She's not really a huge fall risk. Who's somebody that you guys can think of that would not, that would be that he said to be unsupervised or to be, he needs, okay, what about somebody who probably needs to be supervised? Carol. That is a perfect example of somebody who tends to kind of like to get up and move around and stuff, but who probably needs to be supervised in that moment. Okay? Yeah, Diana, absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, when a resident like that starts to try to get up and starts to wander, you know, what need are we not meeting that they may need help expressing? So do they need to go to the bathroom? Are they hungry? Are they thirsty? Are they in pain? Oftentimes they can't communicate that to us effectively. So it's our job to be the detective in that moment and figure out what need are we not meeting in that moment, you know, because more often than not, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get up to find something to accomplish some unmet need, okay? And then finally, you know, walk with them. I think we've talked about this a lot, and we are very, very big proponents of it. Just walk with them. It is okay to do 10 laps around this neighborhood or to take them outside. You guys have the freedom to do that kind of stuff and just enjoy this beautiful weather while we can. I highly encourage you guys to walk with them. Even if it's Miss Edie, if she just wants to go walk outside, sometimes it's just that unknown of what's behind the door for some of them. So if Cheryl's standing there at the door when you're getting ready to go down to the kitchen to pick something up, take her with you. There is no reason that she cannot go out and go down to the kitchen and help you get some extra cream for coffee in the morning. So I just encourage you guys to kind of do that kind of stuff. Okay? What questions do you guys have about any of this stuff that we just went over? Anything you guys can think of?
I don't have a question. Make sure I make it.
Make sure, yes. Perfect.
I'm sure.
That's okay. Hey, that's why we do this stuff, because, you know, it is a lot of stuff to remember, you know, every one of our policies and procedures. So we want to keep training. We want to keep doing refreshers on everything so that we can all be as up to date and prepared as possible for these kind of situations.
Maybe the third shift needs a live drill.
Ooh. Maybe third shift needs a live drill. All right, if you guys don't have any questions, you are free to go. Just make sure that you have signed in so that you can get training credit. Oh, look at over here.
Did they?
Up here, Bree. Hi,
Oh, that's so cute.
Hi, Diana.
Before they bounce out of here. So.
I'm going to put you guys down, okay?
All right.
Oh, Kenny B.
Oh. No, it's Diana. That's Diana, say hi. Say good morning.
Hi, Diana here. So there's another one. Good morning, Diana. Hi there. Yes, Diana here.
What?
Is that the book?
Diana.
On the museum.
Here across the hall.
Public. It's a
Oh yeah. Ira.
No museum.
Yes, it is. It's a museum outside.
Don. Like, seriously? No, Sarah,
Yes, please.
Usually my knee that gives out on me first thing in the morning.
just think it's hardened bacteria.
See, Bob? Good to have you back. Ain't the same without you.
And she was like, goes with it. She's like, yeah, my girlfriend. She's my wifey. And then like I came the other day and she has
I just figured all the guys this morning, so they ready.
Yeah. It's nice to have some fellas over here finally.
Yeah, they ready.
It was a lot of fun, man.
Had this
I like
whole story.
Jerome
And
too,
just
Dr.
like,
J.
I-
Told me the other day. Dr. J liked basketball.
Oh, yeah. She knows her residents.
Like sandwich bag?
And I was like,
Yeah,
I am
no,
so
don't
proud of her. I'm just like, blown away. I think she's hilarious. She hides in the wellness station in closet and scares the nurses. Like, just hides in there and scares them. It was so funny.
Yeah, we good today.
Yeah.
We got Miss Rosemary here.
Oh, Lord. Ooh, look at that camera. Adds 10 pounds, doesn't it?
Nice hair right there.
She's friends with Anna
So,
Marie.
yes, I
Yeah, there you go.
definitely,
See?
that has not gone
It's gonna have to work
unnoticed.
out.
Oh my God.